Welcome to the Beers on Heads podcast.
Everybody, welcome into Beers on Heads podcast episode. Who gives a shit? We just had it.
What a start!
Oh my god!
What a start!
Will just shotgunned a beer in celebration of our big interview that we'll get to here in a second, and he just
didn't get the
off.
shotgun. We didn't get the shotgun.
He
unfortunately.
fell off of the porch.
Oh god! You okay,
Will, are you
Sneed?
okay? He can't hear us because his headphones also fell off.
Oh.
Jake, let's talk about how you got this big interview. Getting.
So obviously, me and Kyle Peterson go way back. We're talking Sandbox kids. I tweeted him last week and basically said, "Hey, like at Kyle Peterson, like I love listening to your insight. Like I think you're the best commentator in the game." And then 3 days later, I'm asking him when's the last time he shit his pants.
We're already starting?
Yeah, we're in, buddy.
So I don't know. It just kind of happened, and I think we have kind of a friend for life in Kyle Peterson at this point. That interview was amazing.
Yeah, he was one of those guys that like you knew he was a cool dude just by the way he acts on TV, but he gives really good analysis, so it could have gone either way. But he ended up settling in with us, and we had a great talk. We asked him how long he had. He said 20 minutes. We ended up going 35 minutes. So there's not much else to say besides I hope you enjoyed the interview.
Headline.
Jacob.
Headline. Kyle Peterson said it was a blast to be on Beers on Heads.
I'll post a screenshot. He texted me. He said that was the blast. So A, we have a drinking buddy in Omaha, and B, we have a lifelong friend that we can text for life advice the rest of our lives.
All because
Nobody asked
JJ
me
is a
if I'm
dumbass. We did, but you couldn't hear us because your headphones fell off.
Did they
Anyway,
I
we're gonna get to
think
the
I took
interview
him
right
out. That
now.
was a graceful
We're gonna get
foul.
to the interview, and you're gonna enjoy it. So let's hit play.
All right, so Beers on Heads podcast. We have our by far largest guest we've ever had. Not in stature, but in let's say ego. Not ego. Where
ego.
Aura, and ego. How's that sound?
Amen.
Kyle Peterson of the Mothership, ESPN. Kyle, how are we doing this evening?
I'm good. I love getting called fat right at the beginning of this. That's wonderful.
Well, let's be clear.
That's
I said not stature.
You started in stature.
I think he
But
called
that's
you a
fine.
little
I'm-
Stanford wimp, is what he called you. I think.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes the truth sucks, and I can do it.
Yeah.
You know what,
Amen.
Kyle? I've gained probably about 30 pounds this year, so I'm right there with you. I
right.
keep calling you fat. That's inadvertent.
Well, we're off to a great start.
Yeah. So Kyle, are you in Omaha right now?
I'm in Omaha right now. I am.
How about that? All right. So you're Omaha born, Omaha bred. When you die, you're Omaha dead. You've been to Omaha twice. You've been to Omaha twice. King of the Nerds in Palo Alto. You've been to Omaha pretty much every year, minus last year with ESPN. Does it ever get diluted? Do you ever get maybe a little numb of Omaha?
If it did, it won't ever again. I'll tell you that. No, I don't know. I mean, it definitely didn't when we played here. I mean, like going all the way back, our state tournament was actually at Rosenblatt. So it played at Rosenblatt when I was in high school, and we won it my junior year. I got my backside handed to me my senior year. But no, I hope it didn't. But I can promise you this. I mean, after last year and I mean, whatever. For all of us that don't get to experience it, that's one thing. For kids that didn't get to experience it, that wouldn't experience it, that's the biggest downside for me is it's something you remember for the rest of your life. There's 8 teams that didn't get to experience it last year, and thank God they do this year.
Right.
So Kyle, I'm sorry that JJ called you fat, and I have to pivot to my first question. This is Pete.
Good.
So are you the tannest person that's ever been from Nebraska? Because you have an excellent tan just watching as a viewer.
I don't know if it's tan or if it's burn. I think it's more burn.
I may call it golden
Yeah.
if we're being honest.
Well,
Yeah,
I
we're
appreciate
red. No,
Yeah,
I was just
tint
curious.
to it.
Yeah.
No,
So Kyle,
So,
Yeah,
I don't know the answer to your question, but I'll roll with it.
So this is a question I'm going to interject with, and this is more coming from a self-confidence area, because I've had some pretty bad experiences the past 2 months. Kyle, when's the last time you pooped your pants?
Oh my God, JJ.
You could plead the fifth there, but
Now stop.
No, I actually won't plead the fifth. I won't plead the fifth, and I'm going to wonder whether or not you have a camera or a microphone in my house. And if you do, that's a separate discussion.
Was it today?
It was yesterday.
Oh
my!
Kyle, you're amongst friends here. I showered twice in the past 2 weeks, and it's not been a good experience.
So it was yesterday. It had been, Lord knows, a lot of years, thankfully, before then. It's that feeling to where you think you're safe, and then you realize kind of in the middle of it that you're not safe. And it's a really uncomfortable feeling. Now, thankfully, I was in my house when it happened.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, but no. I mean, I'll answer your question. If you had asked me 2 days ago, it would have been a long time ago. But
we caught you at the wrong time, is what it sounds like.
Well, right or wrong, depending on the way you look at it. But yeah.
True.
That makes me feel better. Like I said, I've had a few dicey situations.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, all right. Well, now that we got through that, let's go ahead and dive into to postseason baseball. So one of the more intriguing interviews I've ever seen was actually last week with you talking to Kevin Kopps after, I believe, Arkansas's first game of the SEC tournament.
Yeah.
So his cutter and slash slider, you got to kind of see firsthand, without using Stanford terms, because we have small brains here, what makes it so unhittable?
It does things that a right-hander's baseball doesn't do. Is I guess the way that I look at it. I've never seen a right-hander's baseball move that way, and I know he calls it a cutter, which that's fine. I totally get it. I think in his mind, it allows him to do what he needs to do at release to make it move the way that it does. But the reality is, right-handers' baseballs don't do what his does, which I think is why guys don't hit it, because they've never seen it before. They've seen sliders. They've seen, what most people would call cutters. They really haven't seen that one. And what was fascinating, and that night, I didn't know he was going to be on set. And then when we found out that he was, I yelled our stage director and said, "Hey, can you please get him a baseball? Because I want to figure out how this all happens." And I had talked to Matt about, okay, just explain to me the pitch. But there's nobody better than the kid that throws it. And it wasn't planned. I give him credit for talking about it, because it was really cool to hear him talk about it. But it's a fascinating pitch for me, because I don't know that I've ever seen anything move quite like it.
Yeah, so kind of piggybacking off that, so you have a guy like Kopps that he really has, we'll call it 1.5 pitches, because he can vary velocities with it. Going into a draft this summer, how does that profile? Is he a guy that can get drafted in the top 5 round and kind of be like a guy that can come up in September call-ups and maybe come out of the pen? How does that profile in the major leagues?
Well, I don't think he'll be in the big leagues this year, but I think there is in talking to scouts, there's a challenge as far as, okay, does this play at the next level? And at the end of the day, you really don't know until you see it, because you haven't seen it. And right. That's the biggest thing. Does it play in college? Yeah, clearly it plays in college. Everybody knows basically what he's going to throw every time, and they haven't hit it all year. Tennessee ran into it a few times. That was they hit a solo home run and they barreled a few balls up. So he is going to have to use the fastball just to keep people honest. And the fastball's like 93, 94. He's not throwing 85.
Right.
But I think from a pro standpoint, I think the biggest challenge is we haven't seen this before. So if we haven't seen it before, how do we value it? And how do we think it plays at the major league level? And you're going to get answers all over the board there.
So that's a great answer, by the way. I always thought that it might translate as like you said, it's never been seen before. So we'll see how long it lasts at the big league level.
Yep.
I'm going to say, so this Arkansas team, looking at them, you got people like Big Hit Bob, Christian Franklin, I think it's a bunch of cool guys. It's one of the cooler teams in college baseball. Do you think, when us Arkansas boys being from around here, we kind of think of Stanford guys as a little hoity-toity, kind of nerdy. If you end up at Stanford, you're like Tiger Woods or Andrew Luck. Do you think you would be cool enough to play for this team?
I don't know. I mean, they didn't recruit me, so maybe not. I mean, Tiger lived 2 doors down my sophomore year, and
that's awesome.
Tiger was pretty cool. I'll tell you that.
I've heard otherwise.
Was a freshman there too, by the way. No, Tiger was. He was fine. If you asked Tiger my name, you probably wouldn't remember me, but we did live 2 doors down. I don't know. That's a legitimate question. I think so.
Question.
I mean, I think the glasses would have fit. I think the glasses for the time, at least my freshman year, I thought were cool. My mom told me they were cool. And then I found out otherwise that they weren't.
I thought they were pretty cool for the time, but was it Norm DeBryan like kind of scaring the shit out of you? Like, were you a little nervous to be around Norm DeBryan? Because he seems like an intimidating guy.
No, I don't. I mean, they didn't recruit me. Tulane did, Clemson did, A&M did. No, Arkansas, I didn't fit, I guess. Maybe it was that reason. Maybe they knew I wasn't cool. So
that's what we were getting at.
Well, yeah, we'll poke a hole in the Norm DeBryan legacy on that one. We got freshman of the year coming out of Stanford. That's an indictment, I feel like.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah.
So, circling back to Tiger, I actually had this here in my notes. Do you have a fun Tiger story at all?
I do. Well, I think it's fun, but some may not. So freshman year, we were. He showed up at our dorm. I don't remember why. Here's what happened. Is Fred Savage was a freshman then too. Who you guys are too young to know who Fred Savage is, but
absolutely.
Fred Savage was in Wonder Years, and so there's a Jimmy Buffett concert, and I figure out a way to get a keg. So I get a keg, I throw in the back of a car, we go to the Jimmy Buffett concert, whatever. Well, we get done, the keg's not dead. So I bring it back into my room. And a few days later, Tiger shows up with, I don't even know what it was. And I said, okay, here's the deal. I'm probably never going to play golf with you, but I don't know if you've ever played quarters. But I have.
Let's go.
So I'm going to fill a super big gold cup up with beer, which is underneath my bed in my room. And we're going to get 2 balls and a sand wedge. And we're going to chip in the middle of the hallway. And whoever makes it, the other guy has to pound it.
Oh, my God.
And so that was like, technically, I haven't played golf with Tiger, but I kind of count that I did play golf with Tiger because I played quarters with a golf ball and a sand wedge in the middle of my freshman dorm with Tiger, which he may or may not remember. I have no idea, but I'm going to count it as I played with Tiger.
Kyle, that story awesome.
That counts.
But did you just make that up so we would know that you're cool?
I didn't make anything up. No, I honestly don't care if you think I'm cool. But no, that one, all of those, I don't make stuff up. I promise you that.
That was awesome.
You can't see our reactions, but we're all on cloud 9. I think I'm going to throw the rest of my questions out. I think that's the best answer that's ever been given on this podcast, by far and away.
So I feel
all right,
like
what's next? Ask more tough questions. Let's go.
Yes. So let's dig into this. I feel like the lame dad, but we're going to circle back around to baseball. So how much stock can we put into the rest of the regional, specifically Nebraska as the 2 seed? 0 quad 1 games, only 6 games against NCAA teams. How does that project into a regional like this?
I don't know. It's such a weird year. And I think it was a weird year to try to figure out who goes where and who's good, especially if you're in the Big Ten, to some extent if you're in the ACC, because they didn't play. I mean, Notre Dame played 4 non-conference games and 3 were against Valpo. And so I don't think we know about Nebraska. I think they're pretty good. And I think Michigan's pretty good. But, I mean, there's nothing other than eye test that says, yeah, it feels like they're good enough. clearly we'll figure it out this weekend.
Yeah, so that kind of leads into my next question. I've actually had this debate with a few people. Is the Big Ten kind of at this point almost considered a mid-major in college baseball?
What's sad is it shouldn't be. And I think that their administrators, particularly this year, have made some decisions that put them in a really bad spot. Like if you wait 2 weeks, if you don't pick regional host 3 weeks ago, if you pick them a week ago, Nebraska may host. I mean, they were right on the edge, especially if you play non-conference games. So I think the biggest issue is when you look at the talent in the Big Ten, no, it's not. When you look at the way that I think many administrators within the Big Ten looks at the sport, they don't care, which sucks because it's major athletic departments. It's a really good product, and they haven't cared. And they didn't care about softball, and it screwed softball too. And there's too much money in that league, and there's too much money in those athletic departments to act that way, from my opinion, because I think they're shorting the kids that honestly, there should have been one more Big Ten team in if you play non-conference at least. Nebraska could have hosted. Nebraska had 7,500 there last weekend. Like Haymarket's a really good spot if you just give them a chance to do it. And I don't feel like their universities gave them a chance.
Do you think, following up on that, do you think in the coming years, do you think that tune will change a little bit? Or will there be more support? Because, I mean, weather-wise, it's always been an issue. Early season, they're always scheduling away series, and it just kind of works against them. Is there something that can be done to Big Ten baseball to kind of revive it?
We can move the season back, which I don't think would be a terrible idea if you did it. But the other is I just think you got to, I don't know. I mean, I think you need almost like a public declaration from the administrators to say, listen, we're with you. And I talked to 2 Big Ten coaches before the season started when they found out they weren't going to play non-conference. And both of them said the same thing. Like, we know we're going to get screwed in the postseason. And we get it. I think publicly they would come out and say, like Nebraska. I mean, Nebraska won the Big Ten going away. Should Nebraska be the 2 seed at Arkansas? Not if you seed 1 through 32, which they really don't. But if you did it that way, no, they shouldn't. But how do we really know? We don't really know until they get out there because we haven't seen them play anybody else.
Right. So, hey, Kyle, just to kind of piggyback on top of that, one question that I kind of wanted to ask you that I put a lot of thought into it, and I had a bunch of notes on it, but you've already answered kind of some of the questions. What do we need to do to kind of grow college baseball where we can get rid, add more scholarships and get rid of the 11.7 and add the third assistant coach? Because, like you were saying about the administrators, it's a sport that's growing, but we need to find a way, obviously, to make it more profitable where it makes sense. Maybe find a Power 5 for baseball or something like that where, I mean, I don't know,
No, I think your comment is dead on. I think, call it whatever you want to call it, but I think the ideal would be to say, listen, we're going to have 20 scholarships. And whoever wants to play, jump on board. Let's go. And I don't give a damn what conference you're in. But if you want to play the game, the Big West is a great baseball conference. Fullerton, get on board. Irvine, get on board. Long Beach, get on board. And you can pick those. Conference USA's got 4 teams in the postseason. If you want to play, you can give up to 20, and we're all in. And if you don't, that's totally fine. If you want to play in the same gig, that's fine too. You don't have to give 20. But we're going to give 20. We're going to lot up to 20. And it's up to you as to how many you want to give. 11.7 it's criminal. It's a joke. Having 2 coaches, aside from the head coach, is a joke. based on the way there's no NCAA champion. The only NCAA championship that makes more money than baseball is basketball, and clearly, I mean that's in a totally different realm. The money's there. The money is there, and it's time to. If it needs to be two different divisions, fine. Like, give everybody the opportunity to play if they want to, but for those that want to push it to that point, don't hold them back from doing it.
Hey, Kyle, that was a great answer. I was going to take it back to Arkansas a little bit. We're all Arkansas grads, so that's on our mind.
Okay.
The 2018 team, 1 out away from winning the College World Series. It doesn't take somebody that watches a lot of baseball, if they've watched Arkansas play this year, to know that this is a completely different team. For you, what is the biggest difference between the 2018 team and this season's Arkansas Razorback team?
Biggest difference? Hell, I don't know. I mean, they're both pretty good. I think. Well, the biggest difference is cops.
Yeah.
I mean, you got in my opinion, you got the best player in the country.
Yeah.
That is being used in ways that you just don't really see closers or whatever you want to call them get used. I have never in my life, and I'd be interested to see if this is actually taking place, but I've never seen a kid, when you go into the postseason on a top 25 team that has not started a game, that leads you in innings, strikeouts, wins, and saves.
Bananas.
I've never seen it before. And so, to answer your question, what's different? They've got a unicorn.
Yeah.
And the unicorn has been unbelievable all year.
Yeah, it's very much like we're playing 9 innings and they're playing 6 innings on the other side. It's kind of how it
That's the game.
equates. Yeah.
Now, you can't do it 3 days in a row. That's the difference.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how you're going to do it. But yes, if you give him a day, he's shown the ability consistently this year to go 3-3, which is nuts.
Mhm.
But you got to figure out, you can't do it 3 days in a row. That's for sure. At least
Absolutely.
I don't think you can, but I don't know. He's done things that we haven't seen before, so maybe you can.
Anything is possible. Anything is possible. All right, so to look at the tournament as a whole, a little rapid fire here. So I have 4, we'll call them mid-majors. Who has the most to prove on a national stage? We have East Carolina. We have Old Dominion, Louisiana Tech, and Notre Dame.
Most to prove, I'd probably say East Carolina, just because they've been in the game more than the other 3 lately.
Right.
I mean, they've been close. They haven't been there. They're close again this year. They're hosting. So just based on history, and those that have been closer, I would say East Carolina. That being said, I think Notre Dame got jobbed. I don't know how
They did.
you have 7 non-conference teams or 7 at-large teams that get in from the ACC, yet the team that runs away with a conference does not get a top 8. That doesn't make sense to me.
No, I agree with you there. They definitely got jobbed. And I'll follow up with this. We have, from looking at the bracket, 4 traditional powers that, for their history's sake, were kind of underseeded in this tournament. So I'll list 4. Which do you think has the best chance to advance? We have North Carolina and Lubbock, Florida State and Oxford, LSU and Eugene, and Virginia and Columbia.
I think LSU.
Really?
I think
I was not
LSU,
expecting that one.
I do. Marceau's a star. He's going to get underdrafted because he doesn't throw quite as hard as other guys, but he can really pitch. Labus has been good this year. Their bullpen is fine, but not great. I think their offense got better as the year went on. Their offense was really young. I mean, 2 of their best offensive guys are true freshmen. So it feels like, from a pure talent standpoint, LSU's got plenty of talent to win 2 straight weekends. So, yeah, of those, I think I'd take LSU.
Interesting. That was actually, I was going to leave them off the list because I feel like you wouldn't have said LSU. That's surprising me, but I like it. I like that pick.
You also probably didn't think I would answer the question about pooping my pants.
That's
at this
actually
point-
true. I skimmed right over that.
See?
Yeah,
Right,
so
I'm trying to surprise you at every single break right here.
you're doing a great job right now.
They might have that Mike Martin magic that Florida State had a couple years ago too. So
Yeah.
All right, so we'll kind of pivot off of baseball real quick. As the Czar of Omaha, as I think I called you on Twitter the other day, what's the best steak when visiting Omaha?
For me, it's the Drover. Drover's the best steak.
Okay.
Whiskey steak, which if you want it, it's the marinade is 1/3 soy, 1/3 whiskey, 1/3 Worcestershire.
Sold.
Marinated for like 15 minutes, call it good, throw it on the grill.
Hell
But
yeah.
Is that what you had the other night?
Yeah, probably. I have it a lot of nights, so I probably had it the other night.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but that one's there. That's my favorite place. I mean, I'm a little bit. I like my backyard too because the commute is right. And now that I know the whiskey steak marinade, it makes it a little bit easy. But if you're going to go somewhere, go to the Drover.
Gotcha. All right, and then hypothetically speaking, Kyle, if you're not allowed within 100 feet of the mattress factory because of being served too many adios buckets, what's the best bar to go to?
Hypothetically
I'm
speaking.
old, guys. No,
You're young
we
at
don't
heart.
have to
Come
be-
on, Kyle.
we
You're
don't
young
have
at
to be
heart.
hypothetical here.
It is
We don't have to
purely
be
hypothetical.
hypothetical. Man, this is hard. Like I'm going to show my age right now because I haven't been downtown in a while to go to a bar.
Well, you got to be
I mean, the
close to the
Blat's a
bathroom.
blast. The Blat's a blast. That's true. The Blat's fun. I mean, the Blat's close. It's right there. I would say the Blat to start. I mean, years ago, you would have said Paulie's. And you guys are too young to remember Paulie's. But Paulie's had a huge setup. Paulie's got a place now. It's not quite the way that it used to be. Try the Dubliner. The Dubliner downtown.
I like it.
It's down kind of underneath street level.
Hey Kyle,
That's where.
Wait,
That's where.
hey Kyle, we've
Yeah.
been there. JJ and I have been there.
Okay.
We stumbled in
Okay,
there
so it's
under.
decent, right?
I mean,
Oh,
it's probably.
it was a great bar. We stumbled in there after we dropped the pop fly, and so we weren't celebrating, but we had a good time there.
They comforted us.
Yeah, Dubliner's fun. It's a good spot. I mean, it's kind of tucked away, and you don't really know where it is. But yeah, downtown, I like that one.
That's a great answer, and that makes me feel good about our choice that night. So I got one more question for you. So you made the switch from glasses to contacts around, I feel like 2010-ish. Do you think that's helped your popularity skyrocket?
Well, I didn't go contacts. I went LASIK.
Oh,
I
you're
tried
rich.
contacts.
I totally
didn't
forgot
work.
that you're rich and we're not.
No, I have insurance. That's the difference. I have insurance.
Yeah, we don't have that.
You boys will get it someday.
What's that? Yeah, what's
that?
that? What's that word mean?
Yeah, exactly. You just keep firing away, and you'll get it. No, I mean, Lord knows the way that I look. That is not added to any popularity in my life whatsoever. So, it did help. It's nice to not have to reach for glasses in the morning when you wake up. And I had never had sunglasses until I was like 34 years old. So that was a good day.
Yeah, you put those Ray-Bans on in Hoover, and you just turn into a whole different man.
That's what I'm about. Yeah, I'm all about that. I want comments on my sunglasses. That's why I show up.
So, Kyle, I was going to give you one more knock about being a nerd and being from Stanford, but after that Tiger story, I think you kind of shut us all up on that one. So I'll leave you with a bet, and you don't have to agree to the bet until I read the terms. So I'll just go ahead.
Well, that would make sense. Who agrees to
obviously.
a bet before you read the terms?
I was just giving you.
Think
I was
before you
just,
speak, Pete.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. So the bet is Arkansas versus the field. Obviously, we're Arkansas. I think we've proved that, and you are the field. So if Arkansas wins, you have to give us the whole damn thing. If Arkansas wins the tournament, you have to give us a shout out on air. Like beers on heads. Those guys were pretty awesome. Somewhat.
Not necessarily that. Just maybe even say beers on heads.
Yeah, something like that.
They're going to be pouring beers on
okay.
heads in Fayetteville tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
That would be awesome. Okay,
That's Ravage. Ravage gets the last call. It ain't me, but go ahead.
Okay, all right. Well, you could do that. So here's the other side of it. If the field wins, if your side wins, you're picking the field per se. We play spin the bottle, and whoever it lands on, we have to get a picture of your face tatted on our ass. So do you accept these terms?
100%.
Let's go.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But
imagine
hold on,
the Twitter
hold on.
clout you'd get.
Hold on. Here's what I demand, though. Okay? If you guys lose, the tat is with glasses.
Oh,
it's not without glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
How are they
it's got to
gonna
be
know
the
it's
old
you?
school pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up.
Exactly. I'm
I saw
100% in.
I saw
Yes.
on Google. I
go.
saw one of your baseball cards, and you had glasses on in it with the Brewers. I think I'm gonna choose that as my picture if we lose.
It's got to be the big glasses. It can't be the small ones.
Horned
I
rimmed,
want
yeah.
small ones later on. It's got to be the big ones.
Just
The
imagine
horned rim. Yeah.
long after you're dead.
Yes,
and
but to
the
answer your
police
question,
leaves.
you're in, and I can promise you, if they win, I will hold up my end.
Let's go. Okay, so just
We got
imagine
our.
you're dead and
Hold
gone.
on, is this
like,
one of you? One of
Well,
you
we play
has to get a
spin the bottle.
tattoo, or all of you?
We can play spin
I'll
the
do
bottle.
it
Oh,
regardless.
spin the bottle. I got it.
Yeah,
that's
we'll
one
let-
of the greatest games ever.
Yeah,
Correct.
so-
That's fine.
We'll let God decide that one.
I might do it regardless.
That's right.
You got
We'll
me
leave
so-
that to the Lord.
Imagine when you're dead and gone, and like we're 80, and you're gone, and we have to tell our grandkids that we have a picture of Kyle Peterson tatted on our ass. That's
This is what
beautiful.
happened.
Hey,
Yeah.
I might do it regardless. Kyle, you've got me so fired up. I might run out after this interview and do it anyway.
They say you don't leave a legacy unless you leave some memories of people. So I think having our
So, go ahead. Finish.
no, I was thinking that having your ass kind of cemented on, or not your ass, having
It better not
your
be my
face-
ass.
I may have your ass tatted on my ass, Kyle.
We
How
got
does
to
that
check
sound?
those cameras down,
Yeah.
JJ. You got to check those cameras down.
Okay,
Kyle,
so
thank you
give me
so
the
much.
Story. Like, what's you guys' story? Are you all buddies from college? Like, how did this all come about?
So here's a quick story. I actually used to be a journalist. I covered the Hogs for 24/7 Sports. You might remember me, Peter Roulier.
Yeah.
So, and then I decided that I wanted to get out of that. And these guys are really famous, as you could tell, and funny on Arkansas Twitter. So we decided during the COVID shutdown to start this Beers on Heads podcast. And so far, so good. And like I said, you're the biggest guest, so that tells you all you need to know. But we have fun doing it, and we love the Razorbacks, and whatever happens with Razorbacks, we're on top of it.
Fellas, honestly, this was a blast.
It
Man,
was
that was
great.
fun. Yeah.
Kyle, I got
Yeah.
one more
All right.
question for you. I got one more
Yeah, what's
question
up?
for you. So June 30th, 2021, where is that
Okay.
trophy located? And you don't have to be biased because you're on our show. Where is that trophy?
No, I won't be biased. God, see, I got away from this in the selection show because I got them to not ask this question anymore.
Oof.
We asked the hard hitters here, like pooping your pants and where the trophy is.
Yeah, no, that was big. So I'll be a total homer because then you can't make fun. Well, you're going to make fun of me, but that's fine. I think it's in Palo Alto.
Gosh.
Safe. Safe. Just
You guys
like
called
in the
me, I
safe
didn't call you.
spaces.
Hold
That's
on.
fair.
You called me. I didn't call you. I can give whatever answer I want.
They're going to put it in their safe space in Stanford. My God. All right, Kyle. Thank you so much, man. This was awesome.
Good night, boys. When you're out
Hey,
here,
thank you so
Hey,
much,
you
Kyle.
owe me a
on me.
beer in Omaha, Kyle. Remember that.
I already told you I did, dude. I wasn't making it up. First beer's on me. After
All right,
that, it's
I
on
got
y'all.
your phone number.
First beer's
so
on me.
All right, deal.
Good night, boys.
All right,
Good night.
thanks, Kyle.
Appreciate
Yeah.
you. What did we learn on the podcast? Pete, JJ, and me, and Justin.
Well, we learned that
Oh, are we-
Kyle Peterson shit his pants 3 days ago.
We learned that. What else did we learn, guys?
We learned that you can play quarters with a 9-iron.
if you're with
Sandwich.
All right, everyone, subscribe. That's the only way you're gonna get the show because we
Mash
have
that
Literally,
like button.
guys. Let me
Yeah.
say this. Yeah, let me say this real quick, guys. Sometimes we do lose steam, and we apologize about that. But like, subscribe, comment. I mean, just keep us going, man. It's not easy, and again, sometimes we kind of do lose the steam. So the more you guys support it, the more that we want to record and get you fucking awesome interviews like Kyle fucking Peterson.
Let's go.
So just continue to support the pod. We appreciate, we love you guys, and let's fucking go. Let's win a fucking natty this year.
Woo!
Let's go for the whole damn thing.
See y'all next week.